have a very, very uneasy feeling this morning. I have an uneasy feeling because I know who's really in charge. It's not Obama, and it certainly will never be Trump. What's going on, guys? Make Electric. It's Wednesday, the 9th of November, 2016. As you no doubt have heard, Donald Trump's going to be the next U.S. president. Now, was that the doing of the American people? Or was that the doing of the elite? Or did they abandon their plan for Clinton because Trump had so much support? I realize there's people on both sides of this argument. Is Trump with the administration? Is he with the elite? And he's just playing us all? Because Trump was part of the elite team years ago. We're talking billionaire playboy. Okay, you think he doesn't know the people? Do you think he's true and genuine? I'd like to believe that he is. But there's this feeling in my heart that says he would have never been on that stage if they didn't want him there. You think Trump wouldn't have had an accident? His plane wouldn't have crashed? Something would have happened? You're talking about people who have murdered a Supreme Court justice of the United States. You think Donald Trump would be a factor for them if they didn't want him there? First link below will be a great video by Freedom4Kaz. Only has 160 views. Please check it out. He makes some very valid points. You know, you've gotten to see, in the past year, you've gotten to see just who is awake, who is partially awake, and who's not awake at all. Do you think the New World Order came all this way with their plan just to abandon it to Donald Trump? Either Trump is in on it, and this is all going as planned, or Trump is genuine and the plan's falling apart. In either case, you know, we can argue. None of us know. None of us know Donald Trump personally. I'd like to believe that he's genuine. But elected president and a rigged system, and I do mean rigged system, provable thousands of times over. I have a very uneasy feeling. I don't know what the word is, that we are right on the edge of Operation Blackjack. Let me give you some links. First link, check out Freedom4Kaz's video. Donald Trump may be in on it, he may not. This may be irrelevant. I don't believe he'll ever step foot in the White House, which means over the next month, we're going to see something that's going to keep Obama in office. Operation Blackjack, let's just take a look. First of all, Clinton supporters openly weep, but just across Manhattan, graceful Trump fans cannot, they chant, lock her up. DailyMail.com, check out their article, bunch of pictures of people who support Clinton crying and carrying on. Now, was Clinton so tore up that she couldn't come on that stage and talk to the people herself? Or was that the plan? I'd like to think that she had a hissy fit and fell down and broke her hip or something this time. I don't know what's going on, people, but I have an uneasy feeling. Anyway, that's to the election stuff. Lots of pretty pictures there. Now, are the people here, is Operation Blackjack going to be blamed on the fact that Trump won the presidency? Because now you have a lot of Syrian refugees and a lot of, Islamist, radical extremists, if you will, that probably don't care for Trump. So, is Trump election going to be the groundwork for what we're going to see? More than 800 immigrants mistakenly granted citizenship. AP, September 19. I'm just going to go over some stories that I have. You can make whatever conclusion you will. We were supposed to deport 800 people from countries of questionable ties to Islamic extremism. When we turn around and the DHS grants them citizenship, and now that they've done that, they're saying, well, since they're now citizens, they have constitutional rights? What kind of backwards ass shit is this? 7 military trainees from Afghanistan missing from U.S. bases. 7 people, military members from Afghanistan training here, missing. Just some random stuff I'm going to throw at you. Look at this. You know who's named in Operation Blackjack? That multiple city, multiple country nuclear false flag? Iran, Syria, China, North Korea. 2 days after cash delivery, U.S. paid $1.3 billion to Iran. August 24. $1.3 billion to one of the countries that's going to be blamed should Blackjack go down. That's from the Washington Post. And just a few days later, Breitbart posts this: Iran destroys U.S. Navy fleet in Islamic-style propaganda film. We just gave them all these billions. They turn around and put out a propaganda film destroying our Navy fleet. Inside job much? This is going to be sick if this happens to ever go down. China's war warning. Now, with Donald Trump comes the risk of Operation Blackjack, especially if he's genuine. If he's genuine, he will never set foot in that White House, and you and I both know that. Now, on the flip side of the coin, Hillary Clinton, the Russians are talking about World War III. Now, I never factored Russia into Operation Blackjack because they were never mentioned in Blackjack or Jericho. But let's just see what the World War III drums are beating. China's war warning to USA. You will pay the price for North Korea anti-missile system. That come out October 1. Big talk going on. Speaking of North Korea, named in Jericho, named in Blackjack, North Korea able to produce 20 nuclear bombs, says experts. This is back in September. 20 bombs. That's from Al Jazeera. That alarms me because we have this from The Hill. Pentagon chief says Russia and North Korea most likely to use smaller scale nuke attacks. Blackjack, Jericho, small scale nuke attacks in several cities. Put a link to it from The Hill. NBC News. NBC News. Putin ally tells Americans, vote Trump or face nuclear war. Well, it appears Trump at the moment. But just the talk, the rhetoric. We're not talking about North Korea threatening to blow up the world. We're talking about Russia telling the United States to vote Trump or face nuclear war. Now, several years ago, you probably would have saw this article on like Before It's News, GLP. No, this is NBC News. Speaking of Russia, have you been paying attention? I know I haven't made a lot of videos as of late, and I apologize, but it's because the madness is so thick, I don't even know how to put it into words. Is Putin preparing for World War III? Russia begins evacuation of 40 million people in huge drill. October 14 from Express. 40 million people. Russia is telling their people over here to come home immediately. Folks, something could happen at any minute. At any minute. NBC News, another one. Now, this is significant. U.S. government hackers ready to hit back if Russia tries to disrupt election. Obviously, that didn't happen. At least they're not reporting it right now. But just the fact that we made this threat, U.S. military hackers have penetrated Russia's electric grid, telecommunications networks, and the Kremlin command systems, making them vulnerable to attack by secret American cyber weapons should U.S. deem it necessary. These are dangerous games we're playing with Russia. Large DDoS attack causes outages at Twitter and other sites. This back in October 21. Dry run? Big internet outage. Not sure what was going on that day. Zero Hedge puts this out. Why do I think that Blackjack and Jericho is inevitable? As I've stated for years, we're now $20 trillion. Do you think Trump has a plan to fix that? You know, he can talk good, maybe he means everything he says, but what's going to happen to the United States is inevitable, in my opinion. Zero Hedge. House reaches deal on $170 million aid to Flint to avoid government shutdown. They have avoided government shutdown for another 3 months. That'll put it in, this came out September 28th. December, they kick that can just a little bit further down the road every time. You and I both know there's going to come a time when there's not going to be any more can to kick. And just like Goodfellas, what do you do when you can't borrow another buck? You burn the joint out. People, I am just convinced, any moment we're going to have a Blackjack / World War III at the same time. It's out of our hands. I don't believe Trump will ever set foot in the White House. I believe there's going to be an event. The government keeps kicking that can just a little further down the road. Boy, I love Blackjack in the middle of winter. That'd probably be the perfect time if you want to inflict as much damage as necessary. By the way, I'll put links to Operation Blackjack for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. That's a multiple city, multiple country nuclear false flag slideshow. Fictitious slideshow, they say. Even though there's a slide in there that says this is not simply entertainment. Ran in the Telegraph years ago. I'll put links to that. And people are always watching me, or always asking me where they can watch the TV series Jericho, because it so closely follows Blackjack almost to a T. 2 seasons long. I uploaded it to my channel on CamZone. I will put a link to that. If you have not watched the TV series Jericho, I highly, highly recommend you review it and see how many connections you can make to what's going on in the world right now. You have to pull up my CamZone page, scroll down, and click on the videos tab, and you'll see them right there. They're in a playlist, one after the other. Anyway, please tell me your thoughts. Is Donald Trump an inside job? Does he mean everything he says? Did the American people really vote him in? Or was that the plan? Or did the elite simply abandon their plan for Clinton because she's failing so badly? Is there a reason why she didn't step to the camera last night? I'm telling you, I have a very bad feeling something very bad is about to happen. Anybody else have a very unsettled feeling today? A lot of people celebrating. Something dark is coming, people. Something very dark. Prepare yourselves now. Please rate this video. Please pass it around. Make people aware of the information I have given you. Do not be fooled by this. Listen to what Freedom4Kaz has to say in that first link. No matter what side of the fence you're on, Donald Trump genuine or Donald Trump with the elite, please listen to what he had to say. That's all I got for now. You guys take care, stay safe. More videos to come, definitely. I will see you on the next one.